The game started off just like the old heads like it, physical. The game was gritty and super competitive, but even still, I've got to admit, I hate watching the Celtics play basketball. And I'm not even just saying that because I'm a Miami Heat fan either. Boston is... well, they're boring, and I'm going to elaborate on this soon, but first, let's compare the two teams' first half statistics because you seem like a busy guy, you probably missed it. At halftime, the Knicks shot 38.6% from the field, 23.1% from 3, and 100% from the free throw line. They grabbed 22 rebounds, 4 of which was offensive rebounds, and 18 was defensive rebounds. They had 8 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, 8 turnovers, only 2 fast break points, 26 points in the paint, 9 fouls, and never once had the lead in the first half. But the Celtics shot themselves 38% from the field, 23.8% from 3, 70% from the free throw line, and 30 rebounds, 9 of which were offensive rebounds, and 21 of them were defensive rebounds. They had 10 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 8 turnovers, and 6 fast break points, 22 points in the paint, 7 fouls, and led by as much as 16 points. By halftime, the score was 50-41, Celtics were up. But looking at this, do you notice anything strange? Yeah, this isn't a fluke. At halftime, the Celtics had already shot 21 threes. This is how the Celtics like to play basketball. They practically shot chuck as many threes as there are possessions and hope for the best. Actually, this was one of their better games because game 1 was much worse. It was so unbearable that I didn't even make a video on it. In game 1, the Boston Celtics shot 63 pointers. As per today, Jaylen Brown didn't score the ball that well tonight. It happens. I'm willing to give Scars at least one bad shooting game each series. But what I'm not willing to accept is the goddamn turnovers. I mean, seriously, he's just so boneheaded sometimes. He had some of the silliest turnovers tonight, and his teammates continued to bail him out as best as they could. Typically, you can't afford terrible turnovers like these in the playoffs, but when you play for the Celtics, I guess that rule just doesn't apply to you anymore. Because for a large majority of the game, the Celtics maintained a double-digit lead. The Celtics have shot the ball pretty terribly this series, and that continued again tonight in game 2. This is the strangest thing ever to me because the Celtics and Cavs were both these great three-point shooting teams, and then comes the second round and it's like they're not even trying anymore. I can't explain it. If someone told me the Knicks would be shooting better from 3 than the Celtics going into the series, I would have never believed them. But here we are. The Celtics did a pretty great job containing Jalen Brunson all night and just sort of dared Cat and Mikal Bridges to beat them a lot of times. And to Brunson's credit, he didn't get greedy and force a ton of shots. Instead, he allowed things to flow naturally. He allowed his all-star teammates Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges to make some plays, and for the most part they delivered. And because of his patience, from time to time the ball found him, and he was even lucky enough to get a few really open looks, at least 2 of which were 3-pointers. Drew Holiday, Derek White, and even Tatum and Brown at times just took turns putting bodies on Brunson. I mean, just seriously hounding him and trying their best to tire him out. And it worked, sort of, I guess. The Celtics had them down by 20 points. But even still, the Knicks were in one way or another always still in the game thanks to their grit and their grind spirit. But much like game 1, the Knicks just clawed their way back to a 1-2 possession ball game. And in the fourth quarter, it came down to who just wanted it more. And in moments of who wants it more, it always starts with the head of the snake. And ultimately, Tatum and Jaylen Brown shied away from the moment. I'll be honest, they looked scared. They failed to execute on very basic plays. The Knicks, on the other hand, they had that same hunger in them that we saw in game 1 when they had that clutch fourth quarter comeback. In the first 3 quarters, Porzingis was the one that bailed the Celtics out when they started to enter their really bad scoring slumps. But thanks to his mystery illness and minute restriction, he didn't play much of the fourth. And you could see that the Knicks smelled blood. Because with Tatum and Brown both playing poorly, they could have really used Porzingis' firepower and shooting abilities. I put out a tweet during the fourth quarter saying when Kristaps Porzingis actually plays, the Celtics are unbeatable. And I stand by that. But unfortunately, he's just such an injury-riddled player. It's always one thing or another with the guy. But hey, when he does play, he's a monster. That can't be denied. And another thing that can't be denied is Jalen Brunson is the clutchest man alive. In that fourth quarter, he put New York on his back in a real way, scoring 9 of his 17 points in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics star-studded duo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 9 shot attempts in that fourth quarter, which gave them a total of a very ugly 4 points. Of which, Jaylen Brown scored how many? Oh yeah, 0. He went 0 for 4. Now that you mention it, he did nothing in that fourth quarter. He was just running cardio. Dude had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. Also, he went minus 15 in the fourth. I'm not even a plus-minus guy, but minus 15 in the fourth? Really? Your team needs you most and this is what you do? Dude went full Where's Waldo mode. And anytime I did hear him on the court, it was because I'd hear his shot attempts brick as loud as Rudy Gobert in an open gym. You see, a lot of teams feel uneasy and let their nerves get to them during clutch time. But oddly enough, that's when the Knicks look their most dangerous. And their insane confidence comes from them knowing that they have Jalen Brunson as well as a team surrounding him that is willing to put their bodies on the line and die for one common mission. What's that mission? winning New York City their first championship in over 52 years. Let me summarize that last 2 minutes. With a minute 50 to go, Jalen Brunson hits a dagger midi. Next possession, Brown tries to bully Brunson on the other side, Brunson being the much smaller defender, and still Brunson misses a really easy hook shot. The Knicks failed to score in that next possession. The Knicks foul Boston during the transition offense to get another stop. Then Brunson makes a really tough lay in a transition fast break, and with 45 seconds left and the score being 89 to 86, Tatum takes the ball and finally remembers, hey, I'm 6'9", and he attacks the paint, gets fouled, and makes both free throws. So now it's 89 to 88. Brunson has the ball, takes a step back three with 28 seconds or so left, and personally, I thought it looked like he got fouled on the play, but hey, refs didn't catch it, so it never happened. Celtics get the ball with 20 seconds left, and Tatum just sprints from coast to coast and delivers a very vicious dunk. Brunson gets fouled on the next possession and makes them both. Now the Knicks are up one, and they have to see Jason Tatum on the other side and hopefully play some really good defense to seal the game. And what happened next really surprised me. Jason Tatum did this. But more importantly, Mikal goddamn Bridges had the game-winning steal to close out the game 91 to 90. New York City wins game 2. For my fellow stat nerds, I'll put the final team stats here as well as the box scores as I get this final proclamation out real quick. I'm gonna say something. It's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway. If the Knicks somehow win this series, they should be everyone's favorite. If you're able to beat the big bad Boston Celtics, I can confidently say there isn't really anything else they can do to prove themselves. Cleveland, Indiana, and whoever comes out of the West will be in for some real smoke, and I can't wait to see how this all unfolds. Anyways, that's what I think. But you let me know if you think the Celtics can come back from down 0-2 in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn those noties on. Matista signing out!